Aluminum pipe boot product review. If you're getting ready to do your roof or have your roof done, stick around to the end of the video. You might get some good, valuable, beneficial information to help you make a better, educated decision on what pipe boot style or brand you want to go with. This roof behind me here, I did about 13 years ago, so we're going to go up and we're going to show you here in a few minutes how well an aluminum boot has held up. I was inspired to shoot this video because I get a lot of comments on the channel, people saying these are crap. Well, there's some truth behind, well, not even truth behind that sounds really bad. Let's just go through and I'll tell you my least favorite, why, up to this, and then what the guys that dislike about these, the next one up that I would agree with them on, which would be a lead. So first off, looking at a pipe boot like this, typically these are my go-to. It's an Oatey brand or an IPS brand. It's all aluminum with this rubber seal here, various features with those, how they're different sizes. But what they don't like is actually that this will crack, dry out, and break off and cause a leak. With that being said, the aluminums, plastics, they're all actually raised up slightly here before they make this rubber boot seal. If you're ever going to have a problem on the roof, if this were to go bad, the only thing going in is what's going to be on the pipe running down, or wind hitting the pipe with rain and running down. So it's not a huge deal. And if it ever does cause a problem, I'm simply going to go take care of it at no charge to my customer. Again, 13 years, we'll go see that here in a minute, how well it's held up. My least favorite is going to be plastic. There's no aluminum, no steel, no lead, nothing. They're completely plastic. My dislikes with that and why. When the installer is putting this in, they've got to be very careful when they drive their nails into this. In the cooler weather, extremely careful, because you're shooting a nail into it and you're putting that force of that nail going in so quick, it actually causes splinters and cracks going over, and you don't want to crack anywhere around this if it's plastic, because the majority of the water running down your roof is going to hit those cracks, cause a significant leak. So that's one thing to keep in mind. A tip on that, if you are going to use the plastic, yeah, you can get by with it. They're not going to work. But be aware, when you drive a nail in, you're putting a lot of stress in that plastic. It could, at the time, if it's cold, just splint it right then and there. And what most of the time I've come across and find that happens, it doesn't actually splinter and crack right there. That stress is actually still in that plastic. So over time, weather conditions changing, it will just develop a crack. That's why I don't like them. Next step up is going to be steel. They're pretty economically affordable. They're going to hold up. They're going to be more rigid. That's definitely a better choice than the plastic, in my opinion. But my dislike with those, they're going to rust. I don't care the galvanization coating. It's going to rust over time. Just doesn't look good. And it still has the same rubber booty seal around the top as all the others do. Actually, it was on a roof a week or two back. I don't remember where. I have to find the photo. If I do, I'll throw it up on the screen up above so you can see it. That's just really my dislike with the steel. I don't like the look of it. And it's going to take a long time to rust out to the point to where it's actually going to leak. So I'm not worried about that. It's just strictly cosmetic. Then you get into the aluminum like I use. Oatey or IPS is the other brand. You get them in mill finish. You can get them in powder coated various colors. The only dislike with those in the mill finish, over time it might kind of oxidize, get a little powdery white look to it. Not a big deal. Not going to affect it. It's not going to rust out. It's not going to crack like that. So yeah, those are my go-tos. You also got to be cautious if you're a contractor, or some of you guys that want to comment on this. You don't know what, you might have customers say, I absolutely don't like that. I don't like the look of it, or I want this, or I'm sold on that. You could try to educate them, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's their roof and they're paying the bill. Some of that people aren't aware of when it's discussed ahead of time off of camera. Now, the guys that comment saying this is crap because of that rubber seal, I would agree. If you're going to say lead is better, yeah, I agree. Lead's better. It's also a lot pricier. Is it worth it? Yeah, if you want to. I don't know. I mean, I put one of these on my house 5 years ago, so 2015, I can show you pictures of that. It's only 5 years. The guys comment on this saying they're bad. They typically, on average, most of the comments are about 5 to 8 years. This one is 13 years ago. We're going to go up there and check that here in a minute. I'll probably put a satellite imagery picture on the screen looking down, blur out some of the customer's address info, but show you the street address, and then I'll show you the purchase order when I bought this in 2008, the date, and again, I'm probably blur out my account info, stuff like that. I might have my home address back then, but that way I can kind of let you know, like, yeah, this is a roof I did in 2008, so 13-ish years old, and you can see, make your own decision on how well these hold up. I will also say, different brands might use different material, different manufacturing plants, different parts of the country or even world where it's made. So those could be factors if you're commenting that they go bad in a year, 5 years, 8 years. I've not had that problem. if I didn't say, if there ever is a problem, we're going to take care of it for the customer, no charge to them. Oh, did I cover everything? Entry, this, why people dislike it, talked about the lead. So the lead, the reason the lead is better, you don't have the rubber boot, it actually is going to fold into the top of the pipe. So my dislikes with the lead, if the pipe is too tall, not that it's a big deal, you're going to need to cut it down to a few inches below the actual lead boot so you can fold it into it. If the pipe is low, you're going to do just the opposite and shrink down the lead. You can't obviously crinkle a big mass of lead down into there. It just needs to be a little taller so it folds in over the pipe boot. Of course, any rain going into the pipe is going to vent out and flush down the sewer system, septic, whatever it is. If it's plumbed right, not a big deal. So yes, the guys that comment, they are true. If there is a weak link to the pipe boot, it's going to be the rubber seal around it. Any water coming in is just going to be what hits it and runs down, not much. Not the masses on the roof running down, because the aluminums, they're raised up and pressed up. Let me get the ladder on, put the GoPro on, and we'll jump up there onto this roof. So you can make your own educated decision on whether you like the aluminum or not. Definitely, if you're going to use plastic and save a buck or two, hand drive them, pre-drill them. If you don't have the aluminum in your area, you don't have a roofing supply house in your area, I know Amazon's got them, so I'll leave an affiliate link down below where you can pick them up. At no additional cost to you. It does help the channel, so if it is something you think you might need, please scroll down right to the description area and click on the affiliate link there. Check it out for you guys, delivered to your door. Let's get up on this one so you can see it. It's all frost covered, so we're not going to walk down. We're going to go around where it's melted. That little bit of frost can be very slick, so don't just jump out there. You're going to go for a ride. This is a Tamco Heritage roof. Way back then, I was dumb and just installed what my previous employer did with Tamco, and I am not a fan of it. Let's just see how well this sticks down. It's actually, see, 13 years. You can still pull it up with your finger. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go pulling it up, but 13 years, I've done a product review, or maybe I haven't done a product review, but I've talked about Tamco. So I've totally got away from Tamco. If you got to do repair, it's easy. It'll split apart real easy. Gotta be careful, because look at that. It's like a thin layer of ice. I don't know who put this on here. It's a B-vent cap. This is not a B-vent pipe. This is actually a a vent pipe for a sewer drain. So when you flush toilet, air can go in. They probably got debris going down in it, because they used to have some trees back here that were cut out. And that was probably to prevent that. It's been on there a while. It is condensating inside here, running out and dripping and freezing. But I want to point out the part that goes bad that the people dislike. It is an IPS brand, aluminum. But what the guys say go bad is this right here. 13 years, I'd say this is holding up pretty daggone good. I don't see any splitting, cracking, dry rotting. I'm sure it's aging, just like you and I do. But typically when you see it, because I've seen them before, they crack and start drying out, breaking downwards, and eventually flaking away, and you get a gap in here. So with this raised up, any of the massive amount of rainwater is still going to divert around. That's why I dislike the plastics, because they're going to fault down here, as well as up here if they do. But the lead, you're avoiding this with lead. So in this case, if you're going to have lead on here, obviously you'd have to have this off, and it's a short pipe, so you'd have to cut your lead down. They typically come, I think, a foot and a half tall. You'd have to trim it down a few inches and then fold it into the pipe. So yeah, you are eliminating that. I do agree. You're going to have a little better product with a lead boot if you want to spring for it. Not a whole lot more. I think when I called, they were like 30 some, $35, $38, $40, something like that. So it's up to you, and you make your decision on, do you want to spring a little bit more? I mean, one pipe, not a big deal. I'd spring for it, although I didn't on my roof. And I might throw a little tidbit if I can get on my roof and just smidge that in there so you can see what it looks like after 5 years. So again, IPS brand aluminum mill coat pipe boot. 13-ish years old. I don't see much wrong with that. If you got some benefit from the video, any valuable info, give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, so you can see and be notified when I put out future videos like this for you guys. Let me know if you want to see some more product review stuff. I think I want to get a little more into that, so let me know what it is you want me to do a product review of. I'll go out and buy it and I'll shoot it for you for the community. Pitch hopper is one of them, so that's on my list. The pivot tool for ladder leveling things, that's pretty sweet. Thank you, Scott W and a few other various people. I look at getting that. I do have a new ladder, should arrive tomorrow. I want to shoot that because part of my problem with ladder, I only have the one typically on the truck, and if you need another, this little one, it like collapses down into about 2 foot. It's not like the typical you've seen. I'll throw a picture up here real quick. It arrives tomorrow. I'm super excited. I'm going to do a product review on that. So yeah, give it a thumbs up. Let me know, and if you have another pipe boot that you know of that I didn't talk about in the video, let me know. I'd love to check it out, look it up, and do a product review on that too. Until next time, be safe and see you guys then. Oh, subscribe if you do, so you don't miss the videos. You got to ring the bell on the side. I checked it yesterday. There's 3 options. There's all, personalized, or none. Click all so you're notified. Until next time, be safe and see you guys then.